Rediscovering Gita for the Modern World by Shrikant Soman. Based on essays on Gita by Sri Aurobindo. Chapter 6. Continued from the previous episode. Man and the Battle of Life. Episode 50. Kurukshetra, the Crisis of Human Evolution. The Inevitable Clash of Forces. Why Peace is Not Yet Possible. Key takeaways. The inevitability of crisis. Human history is marked by a periodic and necessary cycle of transition and crisis. Gita's acceptance of war. The Gita's framework is based on the acceptance of this reality. War as a historical necessity. The passage notes that at the time of the Gita's composition, war was seen as a necessary part of human life. The elusive nature of peace. A lasting universal peace has never taken hold in human history. Nature's evolutionary poise. The passage suggests that the very rhythm of evolution would not allow for an immediate and total transcendence of conflict. Main passage. Period of transition and crisis. When we consider the human life in its actualities as explained above, we have then to accept its aspect of a struggle and a battle mounting into supreme crisis such as that of Kurukshetra. We have already seen that Gita takes for its frame such a period of transition and crisis. This transition and crisis is periodically experienced by the humanity in its history. In such a crisis, the great forces clash against each other for a huge destruction and also reconstruction. This is in the form of intellectual, social, moral, religious, and political aspects. In the case of actual psychological and social stage of human evolution, this crisis usually culminates through a violent physical convulsion of strife, war, or revolution. The Gita proceeds from the acceptance of the necessity in nature for such vehement crisis. It accepts not only the moral aspect as represented by the struggle between righteousness and unrighteousness, between the self-affirming law of good and the forces that oppose its progression, but also the physical aspect as represented by the actual armed war, or other vehement physical strife between the human beings who represent the antagonistic powers. The situation at the time of Gita. We must remember that the Gita was composed at a time when war was a necessary part of human activity. This necessity was more at the time of the Gita than it is felt today. The idea of the total elimination of war from the life of humanity would have been an absolute chimera, an impossible idea. The gospel of universal peace and goodwill among men has never succeeded, even for a moment, in taking the possession of human mind and life during the historic cycle of our progress. Peace and goodwill go hand in hand. Without a universal and entire mutual goodwill, there can be no real and abiding peace. The reason why universal peace and goodwill did not got rooted in the race is that the race was not prepared morally, socially, and spiritually for this state. The poise of nature in its evolution would not admit of its being immediately prepared for any such transcendence.